Hello everyone, this is Ron Nutter with another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter, and this time we're going to cover not one, not two, not three, not four, we're almost there. We'll have 5 different options on how you can look at doing voice control for your home automation, and that starts now. Okay, now some of these we've already covered, and I'm going to shift over to a, not really a slide I've set up, but we'll kind of walk you through what I'm looking at. And this is going over the different options, some of which we discussed, some are brand new that we've never talked about before. Of course, we've all, you've heard me talk a little bit about the Amazon Echo and Google Assistant. And to be fair, we've got to put Cortana, an Apple Homekit in there as well. But one that surprised me was Cortana. I had heard about that one, but everything that I had read was simply from, it came with Windows. It was on Windows desktop. It was on Windows laptop. And Microsoft now, as far as I know, has pretty much gotten out of the Windows Phone game. If there's any phones out there, they're not ones that I have seen a whole lot of. And when I talked to Microsoft last week, it was never mentioned that it was there. But in all fairness, we do have to look at Cortana because Cortana is available on both the iPhone and Android. So that does make it a contender. Now, the one that I almost didn't put on the chart, and I've reached out several times to Samsung, have not heard back from them. Samsung, if you're seeing this video, please have somebody get back with me because I would like to get the latest information and get a sense of where your roadmap is going for this, is Samsung Bixby. Now, everything that's been said is it's not really a home control platform. It's voice control, but not to the level the others are. And we'll go over that as we go through this. So the first thing we're going to go over is the Amazon Echo. Now, that's the one, or Alexa, whatever you want to call it, that's the one that pretty much has the lion's share of the market. And Microsoft, you gave me what you could, but you're a recent entry to the field in terms of how long that the Alexa ecosystem has been in place. Now, you can see it's got, and these are, folks, these are relative numbers. These are going to be good as of the day I recorded this video. And even then, it's always hard to get an exact number. So use these as kind of a benchmark, realizing that things are going to change over time. You'll see that the Echo is showing about 25,000 vendors supported. Now, this can be everything from the Roev Viva, that I have mentioned, done a couple of videos on, and we've got at least one more in their support. I have been working through an issue with them. Looks like it's confined to just my phone because they've not been able to duplicate it. God love them. They've been trying. So that is an option. Of course, you've got the Echo Dots, the smaller, this is a Gen 1. They've got the newer versions out. So you've got a lot of hardware options there, and that's why on here that I show it's a hardware option, because there are not only what Amazon offers, but you've got the third-party options such as the Roev Viva, and there is another entry in the field, and that's from Harmon. I reached out to Harmon. They declined to send me a unit to look at, so that's that's our loss, because I really would have liked to have shown it. Now, I'm also showing Echo as software. The reason for that is it's available on both Android and iOS, but I do need to distinguish that with the between the iOS and Android. And sorry, my screen's kind of went a little flaky there for a second. On the Android platform only at this point, you have full Alexa available to you. They've built it in there. It's there. They are promising that it's going to be there for iOS at some point. So, at least on the Android platform, it's there. And with iOS, we hope it will be there at some point. Now, with Google Assistant, of course, now we're at the next level with that one. And that one, Google has been out there for a little while, not as long as the Amazon Echo or Alexa. There's several different names, so bear with me as we're working through all this. There is an option available. There we go. My screen started straightening out now, finally. So with Google Assistant, out of the box, they have both the hardware. They've got the Google Mini, the full-size Google Home, and then they've got the big speaker, and memory fails me as to what the name for that is. It's $300, and that's a little out of my budget range at this point. It's available as software on both Android and iOS phones. It is there as a software piece. So you don't have to have the physical hardware. So both parties are realizing that to be a real player in the market, this is where they need to go. Now, before we go any further, I want to make sure that I do cover this at least a couple times in the video. I'm going, as I work with the different options, the light bulbs, the outlets, the whole process, I'll be covering where it applies to if a particular smart home option has support for Cortana, for Alexa, for Google Home, what have you, then I'll be sure to mention that, and I'll be doing separate videos on all the different pieces as we go through the process. So that's kind of where those two stand. And with Cortana, now, don't let this shock you that there's a low number of vendors support it. Now, I got this number directly from the Cortana app. I've got it on both iPhone and Android, and these are the number of vendors that we're showing. Now, Cortana is the latest entry to the field, so they're still getting into the gear of things, but the silver lining in this is when you get into Samsung Smartthings, that's the holy grail in a lot of this, because you will have the option of, if you can get Samsung Smartthings to talk to it, then that's your gateway to talk to the devices you've got. So that is an option. So hopefully in time that Cortana will pick up some other options. Now, something we haven't really talked about a whole lot is the skills or actions. And depending on the ecosystem, this is where you can get it to do certain things. Amazon uses the term skill. Google Assistant uses actions. There are also shortcuts. You'll hear about. Everybody's kind of got their own little terms, so it's important as we look at the different options that you see what the nomenclature is for doing this. So, and let me back up one thing here. I do show the Cortana as limited right now, and there's a reason. For the most part, you have to have a laptop or computer or you've got to have a smartphone. So when I'm talking about hardware, I'm talking a box like this. But all is not lost, because thanks to the folks at Harman Kardon, I have on the way to me the Harman Kardon Invoke. This is the first device I've been able to find that has Cortana built into it. So I'll be able to do a fair, as close as you can be like to an apples to apples or oranges to oranges, whatever fruit or comparison you want to do, that I'll have that. So I'm looking forward. That was supposed to have shipped 2 days ago, so it could show up anytime now. And the Postal Service just went by, so it didn't come today. So if I don't see it by the end of next week, I'll reach out to them and see where it stands. But they told me they were going to get it out the day I'd talked to them. So, I'm going to take them at their word, because they've been very great to stand up and, work with me right out of the gate. So this is an option, and links to all of the voice control options I'm talking about, whether it's the Echo, whether it's Google Assistant, Cortana, whatever. These are all going to be in the show notes with links to them, and these are links that if you do buy something, with the one exception, because Amazon's got a limitation, I will get a small commission that will really help me fund things on the channel, because you can appreciate the kind of money that you can get into this as you get down the road. Now, if you would please subscribe to my YouTube channel, if you're seeing this on Facebook, or if you're picking it up on LinkedIn, please, do the appropriate actions on those channels. I have links on YouTube where I will have a mailing list up and running. In fact, it's up and running now. But if you also want to take the next step and sign up for that, I would really appreciate it, because if I find, or not if, as I find special offers that may not be good at the time, say I'm doing a video, but I want to get something out to you right away, or if you want instant notification when I do post new videos, please sign up for the mailing list. I'm not going to sell it or rent anybody. I don't do that, because we all have enough email coming in. You don't need somebody hitting you 4, 5, 6 times a day. I'm figuring probably 2, maybe 3 times a week at this point, and time will tell if it needs to go beyond that. Now, getting back to the list here, we've got Apple HomeKit. Now, I'm mentioning that one because, it's an option, and thanks to the folks. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's the other option that the folks at Sylvania LED Advanced sent me, and this is going to be the rope. I'll be getting to this hopefully here in the next week or so, because this is a nice way you can put under counter lighting in place. But there are options where things are supported only on HomeKit. Now, the numbers I've been able to find say there's about 50 vendors right now, and HomeKit support's just starting to pick up steam. As you can see by the numbers, they've got some room to catch up, and not everybody may want to support the HomeKit platform. More do. I couldn't find a good solid number I felt comfortable with to list this. That's just going to take some more time, and as we go through the different videos, then you'll kind of see where we'll start to pick up some of this information. I reached out to Apple, asked them for some information, and did not hear back with them by the time that I went to do this video. I had a hard time saying it was that there was a hardware option. Well, there is if you've got, an iPad and iPhones. I'm kind of considering universal. There is a software component to it. Right now, it's iOS only. Apple, please, if you want to win people over, think about putting it on Android, because that way you shouldn't have to choose the environment based on what you're going to do. And it's a win-win for everybody. You potentially get more clients. We get more options on controlling things. Now, the last entry to the field, and I've reached out a couple times to Samsung Press Relations, and I'm waiting for them to give me some more information, is Samsung Bixby. Now, this is not voice control like these first 4 options are. This is a little bit different. It's mainly for just a few of the Samsung phones, the S8, S9, the Note 8, and there's some earlier versions that are offered on it. And what Samsung Bixby is, this was an acquisition I believe they made a couple of years ago. It gives you voice control of the phone, but what it does is take the voice control, to me, as, I don't know if it's to the next level, but it's certainly a companion path that if you are wanting to open, say, the Samsung Smartthings home control app, for example, you can tell Bixby to open that app, and you have some voice commands that are similar to cursor control on the screen. So that it's going to be interesting, and I've reached out to Samsung. I'm trying to see if there's a review phone I can get a hold of. I don't have one of the Samsungs. I've been looking at it for a long time. They did take a bad rap for a battery problem a couple of years ago. But you know what? Everybody can have battery issues, so I'm not holding it against them. I really want to look at it because I may find, for me anyway, that this may be the best option to go with. So that's another option I'm going to be investigating as we move forward with things. But you can kind of get a sense of where we're looking. There's a lot of options here to go with. You may find that, say, if you go to Samsung Smartthings, for example, that you can tie it into both Google Assistant and Amazon Echo. And there's good reasons for doing that, because sometimes one voice control system may have some sort of problem in their cloud infrastructure and you may not be able to get to it. But if you've got more than one voice system tied in, you have a backup way of doing it. So, and plus I like to experiment a little bit, and you will find that there are options on several of the voice control options that we've talked about, and I'll be showing you in future videos where you do have the ability to tailor it so you can have it distinguish between voices. That can be a double-edged sword, but that's going to be something we'll visit at some point. Now, this is all going to be in the book I'm working on, and I've pushed out the release date a little bit because there's several options I want to get in the book. There's several of the garage control options. I've been talking to Chamberlain. I've been talking to the folks at Nex that I really want to get before you and show you. And what I may have to do is release the book a little bit sooner than I was thinking about. And then especially for the Kindle version, this will be coming out on both Kindle and paperback, that you'll have get updates that way in terms of Kindle. We'll see what we can do on paperback. There's no easy way to address that one, but I'll come up with something, and I'll do right by everybody who buys the paperback version of the book. We'll keep doing videos as we move forward. So I think you see a sense of the landscape we're looking at. This has a lot of potential. So appreciate your time watching the video. Again, please subscribe to me on YouTube. If you want to sign up for the mailing list, that will let you know when I put up a new video in case you're not getting the YouTube updates. And if I find any special offers along the way, and I've already had one company reach out to me that is interested in doing just that. So as we move forward with the videos, that you'll be able to see and get some special offers that probably wouldn't be that timely in doing the videos. So thank you for your time very much, and we'll see you in the next video.